Hello, I'm WP Suazo, and I'm here to talk to you about GDP in per capita terms. Here we have two economies, A and B, and the first two rows going across are numbers in millions. So economy A has 40 million inhabitants and then 41 million when we look at it again. Economy B has 80 million inhabitants and 100 million inhabitants. We look at that one again. So we have GDP going across in the top row, and then we have population. So looking at GDP, if these numbers are in millions, million, billion, trillion. So GDP for this economy A is $2 trillion and 2.1 when we look at it again. We have a poorer economy with a larger population that has $1 trillion output and grows by this much. So if I get out of the way, you could freeze the screen and look at the data. There are many questions that could be based or asked on this data. Okay, starting with which economy is bigger. All that asks is which economy has more commerce. And the answer to that question, 2 trillion versus 1 trillion, there's some change, but nothing earth-shaking. So economy A is the bigger economy. The second question is which economy grew? Which economy grew? If you look at both of them, economy A grew by what looks like 5%. Economy A grew by about 5%, $100 billion. Economy B also grew. So if the question is which grew, the answer to that is both. Our third question is which economy grew more? And that question can be posed in two ways. We can subtract and find a difference, or we can do some division. The difference for economy A is 2 trillion to 2.1 trillion. So economy A grew by 100 billion. Economy B grew by 150 billion. So economy B had more growth. In terms of percent, economy B grew by 15%. This lends itself to easy math, economy B being $1 trillion. Economy A grew by 5%. So which grew more? Without a doubt, in both terms, economy B grew more. Which economy has more people? Well, we have population economy A of 40 million going to 41 million. A wealthy economy, maybe a Britain, with no population growth inside of it, but immigration keeping the population from shrinking. And then here we have a lesser developed economy with twice the size, twice as many inhabitants, and with some prosperity, the population grows by 25% between the times we look at it the first time and second time. And that happens. That's only natural. For countries where regimes are continuously going out of business, the best defense mechanism for families is to have a lot of kids to take care of the elders, to have many children, to take care of the parents. So which has more people? Without a doubt, economy B has more people. Now, looking at population growth, economy B has more population growth. Economy A does have population growth. So both populations grow. The population for economy B grows. It adds more inhabitants and it grows more in percent terms. 25% versus this one, which would be 2.5%, 1 to 40. So economy B adds more people in terms of rate and the number of persons. Now let's get down to brass tacks. What we have here is capita. What this means is per capita terms. And as we can see, economy A is the wealthier one. It has twice the output, half the population, so it has much more per person when we first look at it and in the end. Economy B, like I said, has half the output and twice the people. So in terms of per capita terms, economy A is the winner. Now for our final question is, which economy grew in per capita terms? Grew in per capita, this says here. If we look at this, economy A did add 2.5% in population. It did add 2.5% in population, but it added more in terms of commerce and in terms of its GDP. It added 5% in GDP. It only added 2.5% in population. So its per capita growth is roughly 2.5, 2.4%. Now, what happened with economy B? With economy B, the economy grew by 15%, but the population grew by 25%, which would make for a reduction of about 10%. Now, 10% of 12,500 would be 1,250. What we have here is a reduction of 1,000%, and that's what happens when we do simple percentages. To get a more accurate fit, we could compare the difference and say between the start and the finish, not to the start, but to the average. So I say again, if you want your differences to fit together perfectly, you take the difference. Now the difference in GDP in economy A between the start and stop is 100 billion. But I originally compared that to the starting point. If you compare this difference to the average between the two, then what we'll have is we'll have figures that fit better together. But that does not blunt the final result here. Because in economy B, the population is growing more than the economy, what we have here is per capita terms eroded. We have a loss in per capita terms. So the final question asks, who grew per capita? The answer to that is economy A. I hope that this has cleared up per capita terms for you. Please look for my other videos, and thank you for watching.